So, nobody wants to listen to Whitesnake with me. So, here I go again on my own.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
I've got a question for you guys.
Go on.
If there's a military takeover at the top of a tower block, is that a haiku?
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Lovely. You know when I was saying about going to the Whitesnake thing and nobody wanted to listen to it, yeah? Well, actually, funny enough, I did go once to a Robbie Williams gig with a very pushy insurance salesman friend of mine. And through it all, he offered me protection.
You shithead. Oh.
Anyway.
So low.
On a legal note, I know that Brian Wilson of the Beach Boys is actually a very good divorce lawyer.
Go on.
He's issuing my ex citations.
Oh, no.
For God's sake, Jim, not you as well.
I'd get him in on that, because wouldn't that be nice?
Oh.
I went to see a Spanish Oasis tribute act. The lead singer was called Juan Dual. Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Dog version 2, episode number 105. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
I'm Elton.
And this week we'll see how everyone's week's been. We'll stop doing musical puns. And then we'll move on to the first of our. Well, the first. We've done so many horror films this last two months. I think we're sort of midway through a second season from next year. But the first of our 4 weeks of horror, Indeterminate Weeks of Horror, which may well last into November.
What do you mean, may well?
I was going to say, yeah.
I was just trying to cue it up for next week or the week after when I tell them I'm not around for actual Halloween. But anyway, well, there you go. So it's the 27 weeks of horror on the Black Dog, and and we start it with this week's, which is my entry, my pick, which is the Netflix movie Hush, and we will be discussing that later. But before we get to that, we go over to Brian Wilson's client, and Jim, how's your week been, sir? He's gone. He's gone.
Yes, that's it.
He has gone. He's disgusted at the. He is disgusted at what's happened.
His pun took up so much energy, so much electricity that his meter's gone off. That's it.
That's it. We lost Jim.
Yeah, no, I'm back again now.
He's back.
Hey, here he is. He's fair 50p for the meter.
There you go.
Well, 50 quid for the meter, I should say, these days.
Yeah, I was going to say 50 quid for the meter, and that's worth about 4 pence in other money around the world. No, Jim, I was queuing you up, mate. How has your week been, sir, apart from the dodgy internet connection?
Fairly relaxing. The tribulation last few weeks. We decided on the spur of the moment we'd go away at the weekend. Yep. And being this time of year in Britain, we found a nice booking at very short notice.
Nice.
So we went to stay in Upper Cumbria, in the Eden Valley, in a little village called Longmartin, which is very, very pretty. Mm-hmm. And basically we had just like a little mini cottage, all like proper old oak beams and whitewashed stone walls, and just bedroom, bathroom, kitchen, nice big living room, comfy sofa, big telly.
Nice.
Reasonable-ish internet connection. And
nice.
Just had a few days away. It was us and the dog, which was it was lovely.
Yeah.
Just going out somewhere in the countryside and you turn off the light. You can't see a thing because there's no street lamps.
Nice.
And you can't hear a damn thing. That was beautiful. Did you just slip a review of Hush in? Well.
Can't hear a damn thing in the middle of nowhere.
Stealth review.
Yeah. Nice.
No, that was good. 'Cause it's a nice sort of little village. Has a good like little local bakery doing fresh stuff, which was very nice, and a local pub which did an excellent steak, and at an excellent price as well, like pre-COVID prices. Hurrah! Like that.
Goodness me.
Yeah, but it's just a good kind of little spot because it's not too far. Basically, got a lot of things in the Lake District and there, and the Yorkshire Dales are about half an hour away, like tons of ruins and whatnot. We didn't get out to many because the weather was a bit shit, frankly. But we did get to. I did get to cross something off like on my personal bucket list. Kind of not far away, there's a village, a little market town called Kirby Stephen. And if you've ever sort of gone east to west in the north of England, you've probably driven through it at some stage because it's kind of a town on the moors in the heart of the Dales. And I've been going through it for years because, I used to live in Lancaster and going back and from Dying to Lancaster on the bus or hitching around with friends, you go through Kirby Stephen. And apparently I only recently discovered that there's an old parish church at Kirby Stephen, which is... it actually goes back to Saxon times and maybe older.
Right.
And it has a display of like relics, like bits of old stone and carved Celtic crosses. But it's actually home to one of only 2 in the world depictions of Loki.
Oh.
And they have what is called the Loki Stone. And it is a carving showing dating from proper Norse times, showing Loki bound by Odin in the bowels of the earth.
Oh,
and so it's one of there's only 2 known depictions of Loki anywhere, and this is one of them. And if you've ever read anything about Vikings, I guarantee you'll have seen this carved stone because it's only one of 2. And I couldn't believe it. For years it's just been there, and I never knew. I'd been through that town and stopped off there so many times. So finally, right, we're going to see that damn thing. And it did not disappoint. It was like, it's quite odd. Something is so familiar, and I've been going to and fro past it for the best part of 30 years, unbeknownst.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, so there you go.
Nice.
But yes, that was a really nice day out. So it is a lovely little sort of oldie worldy market town, and not too big, and some very nice walk by the River Eden, just at the back of the church, when the dog had a good romp around and met some sheep and barked at them, so she was happy. Nice. So,
always good.
Yep. So so it was a very nice, relaxing weekend away. And it's kind of yes, as come back, felt quite refreshed and kind of thinking, maybe I'd like to retire somewhere like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought you were going to tell me it was the church from Rawhead Rex or something like that.
No, I think that was in Ireland. I think, and
yeah, that's true. Actually, I completely forgot that. Yeah, showing my complete ignorance there in one fell swoop. Cool. Oh well, that sounds really cool. So
yeah, that was very nice. So we're plotting to go away again we were going to go for Teresa's birthday, but we thought we needed a break now. But now we're thinking we might go over again. Actually,
yeah,
it was nice. We might do that again.
Why not? So, I mean, yeah. Why not? I
might not spend the money while it's worth something.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. Before your entire mortgage is only worth a loaf of bread. So I'd get on with that. I'd get right on that job if I were you. Cool. Anything else, sir?
No, I'll leave it at that.
Okie rightio. Well, there you go. We moved from Norse gods, Norse god of mischief, to the great Yeldum god of mischief, Elton.
Oh, jeez. Nothing's really happened. That's why I took the week off.
Oh, well, there you go.
It's been pretty quiet. Oh, no, hang on. No,
go on.
I ripped up my mother-in-law's decking. There you go. Rips that to shit, really.
Right. Bare hands.
Yeah.
No, there were crowbars and tools and everything. It was good fun to actually go smashy.
I was going to say, was there actually a reason for it, or did you just decide that you hated your mum's decking?
No, it was... She wants to replace the top of the deck. All the boards, they'd gone a bit wonky and worn out, and they only have a finite life. And so we were told to take off all the boards at the top. We're going to dispose of them, chop them all up into nice little pieces, and see what's left underneath. And everything, like the substructure, was just there was nothing left. It was everything was wet and horrible, and you could put your finger through absolutely every board there. Really, it was disgusting. So, yeah, it was a case of, so what are we going to do now? Do we rip this up? Yep, rip it up. Okay, it's all coming up now. And it was a good day where we went. I think we went for a dog walk and meal after that as well. So got treated to a meal after that. It was nice. Apart from that, no, that's it. That's about as exciting as it gets, really, around here.
Oh, right. Well, there you go. Sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, and things just don't always happen. We can't always end up with our bollocks strapped onto an electric fence or tripping over and falling down a well or gluing our arse shut. Sometimes life just doesn't give us those opportunities.
Doesn't happen every week.
Not every week. If it did, that would be a problem and probably quite dangerous. Cool. Okay, then. Well, in which case we shall move on to Mr. Barnard, sir. How are you?
I'm actually quite good. Just stumbled across some good news looking at my electricity meter. They've dished out the money.
Oh, what, the 400 quid thing?
Yeah, I looked at my meter and wondered what the fuck was going on with it. It's like, did I press the right button? Am I looking at some kind of meter reading? And then I realised that I've got suddenly 140 quid sat in my electricity thing. And it's just fucking hell.
That's good.
So, that's one piece of good news.
Yeah.
There you go.
While those numbers are spinning up at 6,000 miles an hour and
making where the breeze was coming from. Yeah, there it is.
I was going to say, when it looks like the speedometer on fucking Street Hawk, that's when you know you're in trouble.
Oh, I've been all over that like an old fucking raincoat for the past 6 or 7 weeks now. It's like switch everything off. You know, the lights, the fucking Xbox, Granddad's life support, all off. That's it.
Yeah,
you know?
It is worth mentioning that just the electricity to produce this podcast currently is currently skinting me, and it will actually mean that we don't eat for a month.
Well, it should be that way. Yes. This is your sacrifice. So,
this is my curse.
There you are.
Yeah. Cool.
But that is about the possibly one of the best things that happened to me this week. You know how they say no good deed goes unpunished. I had that last week actually. We had some guys were going to come over to Mum and Dad's house to fix a couple of their walls they've got in their houses. They've got like big cracks appearing in it. So the housing association's like, yeah, we'll send around some guys to sort that out for you. And so because they're quite sort of getting on a bit now, they need a hand with clearing.
What, the housing association?
Yeah, they're all old and decrepit. Mum and Dad like fucking superheroes all over the place. Athletes, yes they are. I had to go over and help Mum and Dad just clear some space so the guys can get into the walls and whatever. So it's like moving stuff around in the house. And in this one room upstairs where they've got quite a large crack running across the wall, they've got a big table in there that's not really being used for anything apart from storage. So they've just stuff on it. So to create some room to help the guy get in there and get this stuff done, I thought I'll take that table apart. I asked them, do you need it? And they went, no, we don't really use it. So it's like, okay, well, fine, let's collapse it. Now it's like a computer desk, right? So you've got a little set of drawers at one end, and the legs at the other end is basically just a big flat piece of wood, right? Quite thick. That's sort of like screwed onto the side of the top. So I looked at it, I thought, all right, fine, that looks really quite easy to take apart. There's a couple of screws there, we'll undo those, do the other side, lift the top off, bang, Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt, you're done. Now, normally on these tables, there's like a little thin piece of wood at the back that, just gives it a bit of stability, right? That's been removed. Now, this is not, I've looked and I've seen this, but it's not actually kind of registered, right? So what I do is unscrew the top, right? All along the side there, get it loose. I stand up. Now, just to give you an idea of what this is like, the actual piece of wood at the end that's acting like the legs at that end, right?
Yeah.
It's quite thick and it is fucking heavy, right?
Yeah. Right.
Okay? It's made of, I don't know, quite thick MDF or something, right? I don't think it's proper wood, but it's, it's probably some cheap wood, but it's got some weight to it.
Yeah.
And the corners are really quite pointy, right?
Okay.
As I found out, because what it was, I lifted the top off the table, so all of a sudden, there's no stability to that bit of wood. So it comes falling over, and it falls in my direction.
Oh,
right?
no.
And I found out how sharp those corners are as they kind of went down my shin and sliced right into my fucking... Yeah. Now, I've looked down, and it looks like a scrape. I can't see any blood. I thought, a mere flesh wound, my friend. Right? So I'm thinking, well, all right, we'll fine. We'll deal with this later. Pain is now really setting into this, right? And I'm like, I start swearing quite a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's really, really
hurting, yeah.
I check it again, and there's blood pouring out of it.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah, exactly. Shit. Not enough to kill me or anything, but there's, it's running down my leg. So, yeah, I had to fucking do that up. And all because I came over to do a good deed. That's what you get, you see.
And so I lost my leg and now I have a prosthetic limb.
This is it, yes. Oh, I've actually chopped up the wood and I've made a wooden leg out of that. At the table. So
that's it. Yeah, use the bodies of your enemies.
Exactly. I this is my Moby Dick, and I'm using it as my leg.
Euphemism, Jim. Where were you? Where?
I was waiting for the Pornhub tune.
Actually, that's very true. I'm a bit like. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
very much.
This is my wooden dick. Yes.
This is my wooden dick. Yes. So, apart from my wooden Moby Dick,
yes.
Let's see, what else have I done this week? Not really much.
No,
really,
it's fine.
No. Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yes. Watched the new Quantum Leap.
Oh, right.
I watched the new Quantum Leap, and I have to say, quite enjoyed it.
This is the second episode, presumably.
This is the first and second I watched back to back.
Right.
And
right.
I thought, do you know what? Not every single episode of the original Quantum Leap was like Oscar-winning material, right? Some of them could be quite, soapy and stuff. And this is, you still enjoy it. And this was no different. It really wasn't. They've got a little bit more of a little bit of a story arc thing going on in it. And what's nice is while Ben, the guy that's leapt, is doing the leaping, is doing his thing, you're also seeing the outside world and what is going on there, because it's kind of connected with Sam and what he's doing.
Yeah.
So there isn't any waiting room now at all. They've completely done away with that. But I really quite enjoyed it. It's a really nice piece of fluff television, if you know what I mean. It's something you can whop on. Don't have to think about it too much. And it's I'm waiting for the Lee
Sounds
Harvey
like Pornhub
Oswald.
again.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was going to say.
Whop on.
Oh, yeah. Jesus!
You don't have to think about it. It's just pure visceral action. Yes.
I tell you, I should give everyone one of these soundboards. I should just let them all just trigger it when if you catch these double entendres before I do, Jim, then you can just trigger it.
I think we need to have a Jim button on there as well with euphemism.
Yeah, oh God,
we need to have that.
We need to have that. You were saying,
just
Jim,
pretend Jim has said it because
you were saying, Jim, in the green room before we start recording, it was like how our jingles are kind of evolving and we're scrabbling them together. You may live to regret that once I get your euphemism name down on this.
Are you gonna sort of like churn out a banging house tune? Euphemism.
Get the glow sticks out.
Little fish, big fish cardboard box.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There we go. Throwing shapes in the church of dance.
Yeah, exactly. That's it, man.
Yep.
Yeah,
indeed.
Disco fudge.
Yeah. Well, no Pornhub.
No. I'm going to leave it. You got to use it sparingly. It's like seasoning on a meal, my friend.
It's like the Spawn's power. Every time you use it, the number goes down.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Excellent.
Yes. Right.
Lovely stuff.
Mm.
So, apart from that, anything else? No.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Cool.
That's about it.
Yeah, that's it. I'm sorry, I thought we'd started. Oh dear. For me, my week, really not done an awful lot myself either, but I have watched the 4th episode of Andor. And
brackets door.
Yeah, and brackets or. It's like a Spectrum programming language. And I'm going to say this. It's starting to warm. I'm starting to warm to it. Finally, I think I'm starting to warm to it. That you can kind of see it slowly edging towards an actual plot. So, and it's I'm okay with it right now. And so far, I've become more intrigued. I was saying to Reverend Peter Organ over on Broadcast, he was saying the same thing, that the first 3 episodes are so much mood setting that you're kind of sitting there going, kind of thing. But the 4th episode finally seems to be introducing like more of the kind of the seeds of the rebellion and the kind of politicking in the backgrounds and another plot that's going on another planet, and it's slowly starting to evolve. And I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, that's all right. So I'm actually on board for the next episode, and just to see how it goes. But if it does this thing of kind of doing about 30 minutes and then just go dumph, end the story right there, it's like no, I'm not getting. I don't feel like I'm getting the proper mouthful here. Hold on. Easy. So yeah, it just needs to kind of get a bit of a move on. But I'm more on board for it than I was before. Unlike Rings of Power, which I'm still watching because Carol's watching it and I'm watching it, which is, oh my god, it feels like it's trying so hard to make everything really important, and it does nothing. And it had a scene which is, I don't want to spoil anything, but it had a scene which had a character do something that was so colossally stupid. I'm pretty sure I lost a brain cell trying to actually compute why the writers decided to do this, other than just to go, we haven't got the time to make this story go any faster. Basically, and this isn't the actual story, but imagine, for example, if you will, that you understand that you have in your possession a magical artifact of some description. Mm-hmm. Yeah? Something which has a use for which you know not what.
That's the egg whisk of Ruth and Dave, then?
Yeah, pretty much. Funny enough, it's exactly what I said to Carol. I said it's the egg whisk of Ruth and Dave. So imagine the egg whisk of Ruth and Dave. You've got it in your hand. Yep. You don't know what it's for, but you know the bad guys are after it. You know that anyone who knows where this thing is going to put everyone in trouble, or in least amazing amounts of danger, because there's so many bad guys looking for it, yeah?
Yep.
So you hide it under your coat. You go, nobody can know where I'm going to hide this. Nobody. I'm going to hide it somewhere really hard to find, right? Where do you hide it? Now, here's a multi-answer question for you all.
Okay.
Do you hide it in a volcano? Do you hide it in a deep, deep ocean? Do you hide it in a fiery kiln? You know, somewhere that's completely accessible. Or do you hide it in your fucking living room, 5 feet away from where you picked the fucking thing up?
We're going to go with D, please, Bob.
Yeah, and at that point, I think both me and Carol literally looked at each other, paused the show, and just went, "That is fucking stupid." And it was the show has been making such a big song and dance about this particular item that you go, "Oh, so he just hid it in his room." He said nobody can know where it is. Nobody knows. We've got to hide this away from the evil.
In the land of the Ewoks, is it?
Yeah, in the land of the Jawas.
Yeah.
Is it a ring by any chance? No, I'm not going.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say what it is because it's not what you think it is. But it's no, but it is something, and the show has made a big hoo-ha about this thing being a mysterious thing which has magical powers of which we know not what.
It is not the tankard of Billy Bullseye, is it?
No. It is the cow pie of Desperate Dan. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, I'm really the wheels are starting to come off with Rings of Power for me. I mean, I thought it was bad enough that it wasn't really progressing particularly fast, but now it's just like, you can see that some of the special effects are starting to wear a bit thin as well. You know, there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of horsemen coming over the hill. No, actually, it's half a dozen guys, and we film them up really close. It's like half a dozen guys on a horse. Right, okay.
Do you know what? I've not been compelled really at all to want to watch that show.
Yeah.
It's really not.
No. It's got some dumbass plotting, that's for sure, and some bloody dumbass scripting and some story beats which just defy belief. And it's just like, and I don't really know how you can take like 5 now 6+ hours of story and still have it have gone nowhere. But but there we are. And then finally, the last thing before we wrap this up, I went to the cinema and I went to see How They Run.
Oh, right. Okay. How was that?
With Sam Rockwell and Saoirse Ronan.
Oh, I've seen the adverts for that,
yeah.
Yes.
Saoirse Ronan. Saoirse Ronan. Anyway, yeah, it's actually, it's the perfect tea and a biscuit Sunday afternoon version of Knives Out. It's basically the way I can put it. You watch Knives Out and it's got some light-hearted comedy mixed in with a murder mystery and some quirkiness. Now imagine setting that in the 50s, are based around the a murder that takes place in the Mousetrap during the performance of the Mousetrap.
Yeah.
And then it's essentially Sam Rockwell, who, I'm going to say this now, pulls off an amazing English accent. Sort of Cockney accent. He's not like your Brad Pitt's going or any of that sort of stuff, or a Dick Van Dyke, God blimey governor.
Yeah.
He's very like this, talking very much like so. What do you want me to do now, Inspector? Sort of thing. He's very that kind of world-weary Cockney, but he's an alcoholic, and he's been sort of paired up with this very, very eager, sort of like female police detective, or police officer who wants to become a sergeant. Sorry. And she's following him around making notes as he's trying to solve this crime. But she's got this problem where she always jumps to conclusions. So if someone just walks into a room and just says, "Oh yeah, officer, that's it. You've caught me. I did it." She literally comes right straight over and goes, "I arrest you in the name of the law." And it's like, no. He's being sarcastic, officer, sergeant. She's being sarcastic. Oh, all right then. And there's this kind of running gag that she's so eager to please that she's got this notepad and she's literally writing down absolutely everything that ever happens. And there's this kind of like thing of, it's like, why are you writing everything down? Because something might be important. Yes, but how do you know it's important? I don't know until it becomes important, by which time I'm really glad I've written it down. Mm. And it's that kind of like, you don't find yourself laughing out loud. You sort of sit there kind of going, oh, a little smile on your face thinking, you know what, if this was a Sunday afternoon and I was curled up on a sofa and this was on telly, I'd be really pleased to just sit here and watch that. And it is quite fun. It's not a cinema experience per se, I don't think, but it's a nice, light-hearted, take me away from the realities of this horrible, horrible universe type movie. I want to just go and see things where the bad guys get caught, everyone, including the alcoholic, all get their comeuppance one way or the other. Things happen, and everyone goes home for tea afterwards and cake. And, huzzah! Everyone goes huzzah, and then the curtain falls, it goes the end, and everyone goes and go home.
It seemed to have like a feel of the Grand Budapest Hotel.
I can see why that is, because a lot of the players in it are people who are in the Wes Anderson movies. So there are actors like Adrian Brody who plays this film director who's trying to adapt The Mousetrap for film, but he wants to have it end in a shootout, and he wants it also to end up in a house on fire, and he also wants to end up in a car chase. and there's like this, so it's like, no, we don't want that. And he gets knocked off, and it's like, well, who murdered him? Is it the scriptwriter? Is it Agatha Christie? Is it the person who's getting the most money out of the play still running in the theatre rather than the film? There's all these different people, and they're all in the frame. And like I say, and then there's Saoirse Ronan, and she's also in a lot of Wes Anderson movies as well. So it does have that feel, and it has that kind of quirky vibe to it.
And I thought it had that look, like the colours.
Yeah.
As well, like the sharp colours it had.
Yeah. It like I say, it's got that kind of, how can I put it? It's got that kind of quirky, sort of glamorous but slightly run down sort of 1950s film vibe, and it is really cool. I can see why you'd think it was a Wes Anderson film. It's not, but it definitely has that vibe. But it's not nearly as laugh out loud funny as this is my friend Pinky, and he's in for a 12 stretch, but do say hello, Pinky. It's not like it's not Grand Budapest Hotel, but it's definitely there. It's sort of like it's like so what? No,
she's shaking like a shitting dog.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, shaking like a shitting dog. Yeah. It's like what made you suspicious of this man? Well, it wasn't so much what he did, more the way he did it. Well, how did he do it? Sort of suspiciously. Well, that's a lot of fucking help. Thanks very much. It's that sort of thing. And yeah, it's nice. It's fun. It's gentle, fun murder thriller with a bit of quirk in it, and yeah, it's got some nice moments. It's well worth a look, but like I say, don't go out of your way to the cinema to see it. But if it turns up on streaming, it's well worth your time. Cool. So there you go. And other than that, I've started doing Inktober. So apologies because I haven't set up the Cartoon Beardy Twitter account. So poor old Black Dog Podcast Twitter account's getting bombarded with my drawings every day. And they're not always that good, but I go, right, I've got 10 minutes, sketch it down. What's the word? Scallop? What the fuck am I going to do with that? And that's about it, really. So, yeah, check that out. Anyway, that's it. That's my week. Nothing else going on. I didn't set fire to anything or blow myself up or anything. It's all been a bit disappointing, really. I don't know what else to say.
No pyrotechnics, no nothing.
No, not even so much as a single nail through the foot. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. I've failed everyone. I feel like I've failed you. I failed the listeners. I failed myself. But anyway, right. So we'll wrap it up there. Well, before we run to the jingle, that's it. There's no feedback. Nothing for our last week's film.
Oh, hang on.
What? Hang on. What?
I saw it.
You saw it? Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. This guy.
I wasn't here last week.
You did. Tumbad. So go on in. What did you think of Tumbad? Go on. You can put your feedback in now, dude.
I thought that was bloody excellent.
Yes.
I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I loved the little twist at the very end where they get downstairs and they got, oh, I've got 2 bread men. No. He's hanging out 20. It's like, oh, that's good.
Yep.
So good. I did enjoy it. You guys are right. It did the Bollywood thing of without the song and dance, but with the song type thing.
Yeah.
But I quite liked that.
Yeah.
I thought it worked really well.
Yeah.
I thought it was quite a powerful story, actually, of greed and loss and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and thank you, because on Twitter I completely forgot about the gag of making a gag about the Pillsbury Doughboy being taken into the mouth of hell. But, there you go. We could have done with that. Could have done with that while we were talking about it. But anyway, so there you go. So Tumbad. So if, like Elton, you have suddenly seen it and gone, oh, you know what? Actually, I do want to send some feedback in. By all means, do so. Send it in to feedback@blackdogpodcast.com or jump on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/The Black Dog Podcast, or hit me up on Twitter. As I say, I'm on there a little bit more now, so at Black Dog Podcast. My DMs are open. You may slide into my DMs, madam. Anyway, and on that note, we shall now roll the jingle, and we will be back for our first of our the 8th of our first week of our 10 weeks of Indeterminate Horror or something with Hush. Roll the jingle. Right, so Hush is... Oh, actually, I tell you what. Got to stop it. We got to stop it. I'm sorry. We've jumped in. I've started it. Hold on. I've got to stop it. Yes. I've got to stop it. It's a tradition. Hold on. Right, here we go. Ready? We'll start it again. Nudie ladies.
Forgot about the nudie ladies.
Yes, who can forget the nudie ladies? Here they are. They're a bit loud. Turn them down a bit. They're dancing in the flames. They're flames and they wobble and they're gone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Let's start now. Hush is a 2016 American slasher movie directed and edited by Mike Flanagan and starring Kate Siegel, who is also his wife, I've just found out, who also co-wrote the film with Flanagan. The film...
Isn't a seagull?
No, she isn't. No. Important information there, Jim. Thank you. It's well worth noting that Kate Siegel is not a seagull. And Spider-Man director Mark Webb cannot shoot webs out of his arse, despite his name and his job title and what he worked on. Anyway, the film also co-stars John Gallagher Jr., Michael Trucco, and Samantha Soyan, and Amelia Emma Graves. It was jointly produced by Trevor Macy through Intrepid Pictures and Jason Blum through his Blumhouse Productions. The film had its world premiere at South by Southwest on March 12th, 2016, and was released to Netflix on April the 8th, 2016. It's received positive critical feedback, and and it's also been remade twice. One in Tamil, in a film called Kolanthia Kalam, and in Hindi in a film called Kamushi. Sorry. I won't go through the budgets because, frankly, it's Netflix. They never tell us how much they earn.
Nope.
No. It had a budget of $1 million, though. So I'll tell you what, for tradition's sake, Jim, how much do you reckon it earned?
I think it earned 3 crossbow bolts.
Nice.
Oh, damn.
Okay, while Elton thinks of a new one, Darren, how much do you reckon it earned?
I think it earned 4 broken fingers and a claw hammer.
Nice. Elton, over to you, man.
1 thrown away torch.
1 thrown away torch. Nice. Cool. No, actually, you're all wrong. What it did earn was 1 hair on the back of the neck, 1 breath on the back of the neck, and a crossbow bolt through the leg. See, you were so close. You were so close.
Next time.
Next time. Anyway, so yes, the plot itself surrounds a deaf-mute horror author, Maddie Young, who's writing a book I noticed called Midnight Mass.
I saw that as well.
Yeah. Future call forward space style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Take that, guacamole window.
And she lost her ability to hear and speak after contracting bacterial meningitis at the age of 13. And she is stalked by a mysterious stranger outside the house who continues to torment her. And a game of cat and mouse ensues. Quite literally in terms of the cat. And so let's go around the table. I picked this film. I haven't seen it before, but Jim, you have.
I had, yes.
Right, okay. So we'll go Elton, Darren, you, and then me. And so, Elton,
hello.
What did you think of Hush?
I didn't mind it, actually.
Yeah?
I think when I started watching it, it had a feel of cheapness to it.
Right.
And I wasn't expecting much, but what I got was quite amusing, quite fun. I had fun during this, and I wasn't expecting that. I like that it's just set at the house. You don't go anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And the cast is very simple as well. The only disappointing thing is I think the guy took the mask off too soon.
Right. Okie dokie. Cool. We'll get into that in a bit because I have thoughts about that as well. I'll be honest with you. Cool. Okay. So, Darren, what about you? What did you think?
Yeah, it was all right. These films quite often sort of dissolve into stupid people doing stupid things. You can tell when they run out of ideas because that's when the stupid things start happening. There was 1 or 2 instances where you're like, "What the f are you doing?" But on the whole, it was actually, when she got a freak on the thing, then yeah, I was well with her.
Yeah,
I actually found myself talking to myself during that. Chop his fucking balls off one by one and feed them to him. That's what I'm saying. Like, fucking do it. Go on, just do it.
Get him. Kill him. Yeah. Cool. Jim, what about you?
Well, I had seen this before. I think I enjoyed it more the first time. And that's not to say it's not as good as I thought it was. I think it's more a case for film. It's a lot more fun when you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
This time I did remember quite a lot of this. But I think it's kind of a well executed game of cat and mouse. I think it avoids, as Darren said, the pitfalls of a lot of these sort of movies. And I quite like it. Kind of keeps a sense of reality to it. You know what I mean? There are consequences for everybody for what they do. There's no the usual Hollywood bullshit of, I'll just skip off this roof, I'll be fine. I'll dust myself down. It's like, no, that will fucking hurt if you fall off a roof.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, it's a simple story, well told, I think. I'll go with.
Yeah. I was going to say, for me, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. This is one of those films that turns up on lists all over the place, and I think partly because, Mike Flanagan seems to be sort of like on something. He's slowly becoming the sort of Uber director of horror, as far as I can tell. The creative sort of horror. I hate saying the word genius, but certainly someone who's worthy of attention as soon as he makes something. Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, this, Doctor Sleep, Midnight Mass. There's Oculus. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's worth a look as well. I mean,
that's fucked up.
It is a bit. And it, and so it's kind of interesting. I was kind of interested to see how this played out, and I'll be honest with you, I thought, oh, here we go. It's going to be sort of like just woman in peril for 90 minutes, and that's going to be it until she is rescued by someone. The end, or she goes full Ripley. The end. But what I found really interesting was that it was done so breathlessly. It was always kind of chugging away, and the whole thing with her being deaf and that kind of thing. I thought, oh, it just adds a little extra sort of spice to the matter, and I found myself really enjoying it, purely from a sort of action thriller point of view rather than horror. I think is probably a better way of putting it. I didn't find myself scared, and I think going forward we'll probably talk in more spoilery sort of terms. Mm-hmm. But overall, I think I was kind of more disturbed by it when he had his mask on. But the rest of it, I think it was a nice, tight little thriller. And the fact of the matter is, 81 minutes. I mean, the thing was in and out before you knew it. I mean, you can barely fly to you can barely fly to Amsterdam in 81 minutes, and this thing was in and out. You wouldn't have got it on an in-flight anything. It's I really enjoyed it. I thought it was tight little thriller, lots of fun, and the less you know how it plays out, the better.
You saying about the 81 minutes? Anymore, I don't know where they would have been able to stretch it, and that's the problem. I think they would have been stretching parts to fill out 90 minutes, 95 minutes or whatever. So to do it in the 80 odd minutes that they had, it's like phone booth.
Yes,
that's just as long as it needs to be. And I think this does exactly the same thing. Any more than you'd have been padding it out hard, and there's no need to do that.
No, but that's my point. You see, it kind of shows a level of understanding and restraint that a lot of films these days don't seem to have.
Yeah,
they just think, oh, we can stick it on Netflix. It can be 17 hours long if we wanted it to. Thanks very much and good night. So I really quite enjoyed the fact that it was brief and didn't outstay its welcome.
Yeah. Well, they seem to be doing that time thing with episodes now as well, especially that they're not going to go on terrestrial. You have adverts. So an episode can be an hour and 5 minutes or 45 minutes or 32 minutes the next week or the next episode, because it just needs to be that long. And yeah, there is restraint, because you could be like, well, have people breathing down your neck saying, look, this needs to be at least an hour and a half to fit a criteria that we have in front of us. But it's good that someone goes, nah, do you know what? This is my story. Here it is. There's no need for anything else.
It takes that long. Done.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I approve. I think a lot more films and TV shows could do with just telling the story at the length it needs to be told, rather than like I say, Rings of Power taking 71 minutes an episode and doing the square root of fuck all every time. But anyway, that's that we're getting off topic slightly. But I was going to say, Hush for me, thumbs up, and going forward, before we discuss any more, anyone who's listening to this, standard caveat applies. If you haven't seen this, go watch it. It's 81 minutes. This podcast is going to guaranteed be longer than that film by quite a margin, just because it always bloody is. We never seem to get a podcast that's as long as the film we're reviewing. I really am not looking forward to doing Lord of the Rings because it'll be a 12-hour.
There will now be a short intermission.
And God knows what happened there. Yes, we had a technical blackout, ladies and gentlemen, and everything went horribly, horribly wrong. So if the sound quality has changed, or the mixing has changed, or something went wonky, that's all my fault, because my fucking computer went splat.
Are you sure there's not a man in a mask outside just turning the power off?
Well, actually, I'm going to turn on my my reverse camera now just to see. Oh my God! No.
Yeah, what was that over there?
What was that over there?
Thing moving.
That thing. Yeah.
No, don't start doing that.
Oh, poor old Elton. Don't start winding him up. He got through this one, all right.
Let's all put our guns down. This is getting silly now.
Yeah. Anyways, did you hear that? Anyway, right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, so we did have a technical glitch, and yes, you will have probably figured that out from the jingle that's just had an albatross shouting all over it. But to carry on, I was going to say, going forward, we're on spoiler zone. I think we've had a spoiler zone marker right now.
Yep.
So go watch the film. It's 81 minutes. If you like it, come back and listen to the rest of the podcast. But I would definitely recommend seeing it blind, which is ironic because you really should see it deaf. Sorry, not sorry at all. Anyway, so let's get into the spoiler zone. So, first off, let's talk Chekhov's fire alarm. Can we? Can I just ask a very, very quick question? How many of you guys around the table here looked at that fire alarm when it first went off and she put it on the side and went, okay, that's going to be used in 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah.
No.
Seriously.
Sometimes I get these things, and sometimes I'm just enjoying the movie for enjoying the movie's sake.
That's fair.
And I think I was just enjoying the movie for enjoy the movie's sake. And yeah, sometimes they click, sometimes they don't. And then it's like, oh, there it is.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Right
cool.
there.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I mean, just before let's not get. I'm getting distracted and asking questions, and also keeping an eye on Cleve feed, which is all wobbling all over the place now. This kind of genre of film, the sort of stalker in the house, the man pursuing the lady, vulnerability. It's cliched to buggery. So, do you think this is a particularly good example of it, or what's your favourite version of this type of film? Darren, do you have one?
Ooh, well, I do remember seeing one with Samara Weaving in it. I've got it here. It's called Ready or Not. And that one is all about a woman who's going to get married to this guy and realises that to actually join the family, she has to go through this sort of Hunger Games style thing based in a mansion. Right, where she's got to survive against the entire family, right? And then that's it. She gets the right to marry the boyfriend. And that was quite good. I enjoyed that.
Right.
Yeah, she does. It's that normal thing of trying to find a food, but once she gets going, it's like, I've had enough of this bullshit. Yeah, then people start paying in blood and limbs. And it's quite funny as well, the film. So that I thought was all right. That's a quite a nice little movie.
Yeah. What about you, Jim? Have you seen? You've probably seen more than a fair share of this kind of thing.
Well, kind of sort of trying to pare down the feel from sort of generic slashers and going for movies where you're pretty much kind of based in one location. I think the ultimate, like, kind of home invasion intruder in the house is the original Black Christmas.
Yeah.
Because that is really genuinely sort of real world creepy. And, you know, since then, I think it's become a creepier film because we have had cases where stalkers have been living in people's attics and things like this.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, for the classic cat and mouse stalk and slash, the original Halloween is still the textbook. And it's very hard not to do anything that's just like Halloween. But I think Flanagan took a good route with this. Got one location. But as I said, I think what this brings to the table is, on one hand, is the deafness, which adds vulnerability. But it doesn't make it in too much of a gimmick.
Yeah.
And instead, it uses that as a way in to, I think, ground the movie in a reality. Where I said before, things have consequences. And what I find interesting, I think this is creepy up to a point, but then I think the reality kicks in and you get something a bit more like traditional suspense, I think.
Yeah. Because that was going to be my next question. I mean, does this technically count as a horror film? Do you think, you guys? I mean, because
it's one of those things. It's kind of on the borderland because it's kind of it's in the same sort of territory as films like Silence of the Lambs. You know what I mean? It's kind of, there's a lot of things that are actually kind of, you know, horrific about it, and depending on what pushes your personal fear buttons, you know, this might, you know, have you sleeping with the lights on. It didn't for me, but at the same time, just because it doesn't for me doesn't mean it won't for other people. And certainly it turns up on lists of good scary films often enough to warrant it being in the horror genre. Even though it's not super gory or there's nothing supernatural, which are kind of your two normal markers for where horror stops being a thriller, if you know what I mean. But you know, it's like Psycho. That's on that strange borderland of is it a horror? Is it not? Often it depends on whether you like horror or not. You know what I mean? It's kind of it's like people go, "Oh, I don't like watch horror films." Do you watch Alien? Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, that's a science fiction movie. Oh, yes, of course.
That's
you
what
keep
it
believing
is.
that.
I guess it's that thing I always bring up in these kind of things where I say that, you know, I'm not scared by The Exorcist, and it's that whole thing of, you know, if religious terror is your thing, then The Exorcist is super powerful. But if you don't, then it's just crazy kid goes crazy kind of thing. You know, demonic possession, la la la, and you just kind of okay, fine, whatever. But
I mean, I don't know if I'm being chauvinistic here, but I think this probably has a different resonance for a female audience.
Oh, for sure,
than it does for a male audience. Because women have to deal every day and be alert for fucking creepy, weird guys, and you know, it's not paranoia. Just look at the stats.
Well,
exactly. I mean? It's kind of just 2 women murdered every week, or something appalling. You know what I mean? And so I think, you know, it's kind of, I think, you know, say for a female audience, it's probably a far scarier film than we realise.
Well, interesting enough, I was saying like how I was saying to Carol this evening, just before we started recording, I was saying like how I enjoyed it, and I thought it was like, you know, a nice tense cat and mouse thriller. And then as soon as I mentioned the fact that it was like a stalker in the house, and you know, and the fact that she was deaf, and it was just like she just noped the fuck out of that. It was like, nope, I'm not watching that shit. No. And yeah, of course we don't have that context. I completely get that because it's interesting. I don't know about you guys. I mean, when the next door neighbor turns up, the guy,
Yeah.
did you or did you not? And this is going to sound really chauvinistic as well, but did you or did you not breathe a sigh of relief when he rocked up because you suddenly thought, oh, she's saved?
First time I did. Because the thing, what's fun about this movie is Mike Flanagan knows you've seen these sort of films before.
Yeah.
But he's playing, he keeps his cards very close to his chest because you don't quite know what set of rules he's playing by. Because this guy could well be there and save the day, and it's going to be him and her on the run.
Yep.
You don't know it's going to stay at the house. You don't know, it could become a chase movie at that stage. So I think it is that kind of like toying with your expectations and kind of the way he's constructed. What I noticed this time, the way he's constructed the film is you don't know which way it's going to go. And actually, at a certain point before then, I had another sigh of relief. And I had it first time and the second time. But it is a kind of, at one side it looks like it be really, it could get a bit sort of like, for my money, a bit sort of sadistic of, this mystery man tormenting a woman and in a very real way. And that kind of, for me, that's not a fun watching someone being terrorized. If you know what I mean. If it's done in a certain way, it just starts becoming, that's a bit too real world and a bit too, you're going to be just bleak and nasty and, no, sorry, I can get that from the news. That's not.
Yeah.
But I think there comes a point where it just sort of, I think it's when the mask comes off, there's a slight change of tone. Right, we're in cat and mouse. It's her against him now, battle of wits. That's a different ball game. It's not just her running and screaming for an hour.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Go on, Elton, because you brought up bringing the mask off.
There's so much to dive in on this first. Okay, first with the mask. At the time of watching it, I thought he removed it way too soon because I was enjoying the mask because it's a very well done one because it has a slight smirk to it. And when he twists his face around in the light, it slightly changes ever so. Yeah, there's just little movements in it just from the light, and I thought, he could also have expressions with it. If he just tipped it up a little bit, the mouth went slightly flatter than when he tipped his face down, and it smiled, and it's like, it's a really, really good mask, really simple and nicely executed. And I thought at the time when he removed it, I thought, no, don't do it yet. I'm enjoying that. It's working. But I think the way that the man, that John Gallagher Jr., he was acting, you really got the disturbance in his face once he had removed it. And that really comes through as well. It's almost as if you got two characters. You had that faceless killer, which the film was showing you, yes, this is the faceless killer that you've seen all these times before, where they never removed their mask, and you always want that Scooby-Doo moment of removing the mask, and it was this person, it was the boyfriend all along, but it
was
didn't
Old
do
Man
that.
Smithers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it didn't do that. It removed it for you, so you didn't have that opportunity. And so it then gave you the deranged person that was just clearly out for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really well done. And also, when you guys were talking about when the neighbour rocked up, John, I maybe I'm a bit mentally ill because I was sat there going, well, how's this guy going to get out of this one? I wasn't thinking, oh, the lady's saved, brilliant. I was thinking, how's he going to get out? Because he could tonk him immediately, take him down, and he was saying it, like, you're a big guy, you would have had me, definitely. But I was thinking, I put myself in the man's perspective.
Oh, right.
What would I do now? How would I get out of this? How's he going to get out of this? Because he's playing the role of some sort of sheriff cop type thing. And John believed it immediately, without hesitation. No questions asked, no asking for IDs or anything like that. Because he shone a light in his eye, he immediately thought, well, okay, well, act as if you know you belong, and then you will belong.
Yeah.
And he got away with it. And you're like, okay, once that facade dropped and he tried to keep his phone, then you're like, how's he going to get out of this? And maybe that's because I'm a bit of a wrong un sometimes. I don't know.
Elton McManus, bit of a wrong un. Time out.
That's the way I always describe him to people. What's Elton like?
He's a bit of a wrong un. Bit of a wrong un. Really? Yeah, well, you know. He's a bit of a wrong un.
It's always the quiet ones.
Did you suddenly have a sigh of relief when the bloke turned up, Dow, or were you kind of like, oh no, he's doomed?
Yeah, I just thought, oh, your lunch. That's it. You're going to die horribly, because that's the way these films go.
Yeah, always.
You're going to get offed. And you know, the of course the main character is going to stand there and have an emotional breakdown, because that's what happens in these films.
Yeah, but did the mask coming off of the killer, did that change things for you?
It stopped me from feeling creeped out to just downright anger. I just felt anger towards this shithead with the tattoo on his neck, and it's just like, I'm not feeling scared by this. I'm feeling just aggressive all the way through this film. Yeah, because I'm like, hit him with the fucking claw at me. Yes, but you're supposed to hit him in the fucking face.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Yeah, because I was going to say, because I'll be honest with you, as soon as the mask came off, and maybe this is the same as, you know, what you guys are saying, it's like, I looked at it and I was kind of like, yeah, you've kind of rid yourself of the intimidation side of things.
Yeah.
And
you shouldn't have said a word.
No.
I know she's deaf anyway, but it should have been those two just playing off one another in silence.
But then I was going to say, but the one thing I did notice, which I thought was an interesting kind of thing, and it was something I sort of fixated on for probably far too long instead of watching the film, was the fact that he does this thing where when she leaves the door open and she's talking to her sister, on FaceTime, and he walks in right behind her, and the fact that he's tapping the knife against his chest, and she doesn't turn around to see him, and then when he doesn't, and then, you know, when he kills the next door neighbor, the female next door neighbor, and he taps on the window and she ignores him then, and then finally the last time was when she's in the bedroom and he's brought the body of the neighbor and tapping against the window. And again, it's all, when she walks away, that's when he puts the body down and starts banging on the window. And it's kind of like this whole thing of really what he wants is the tormentation. He wants to, if that's even a word, is that going to be my new word that I've made up?
Tormentation, man.
Yeah,
That's very
is
Trump.
that my?
That's your black metal album title.
Tormentation.
I'm here. I know. I'm here for the tormentation.
Yes, I'm here for the tormentation. This is my henceforth part 2, isn't it? It's like, no, I mean, it's like he's there for the torment. He's there to actually scare her rather than.
Oh yeah, that's where he gets his kicks. Yeah,
and by
with her not hearing it, then that's half of his fun gone, isn't it?
That's right. And so he has to make this whole hoo-ha of sort of standing there and deliberately confronting her and deliberately putting himself in her line of sight so that she definitely gets scared by it, because if she doesn't, what's the point?
Mm-hmm.
Which is why when he takes the mask off, at first I'm like, oh, God, you've done a wrong in there, mate. And then all of us, because you've lost your intimidation. But then it's suddenly like, well, if she's not looking at him, it doesn't really matter, does it?
But do you not think with the mask, it would have just been another version of Jason, or what's the other one?
Or what's his name?
Halloween
Michael Myers.
Yeah. It would have just been that with a guy walking around not making a sound again.
I think what's interesting, when he takes the mask off, then you start to understand who he is, what his deal is. And I think that's why I think it's that swerve into thriller territory, because then it's about working out what he's trying to get out of this. He's not suddenly this faceless, sort of, modern day serial killer demon. He's actually just a fucking loser.
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say he suddenly stops becoming, as you say, Dal. He stops becoming a serial killer to be feared. He just becomes a douchebag to get a claw hammer in the face.
Yeah, and you're every single opportunity, you are just hating him. You're just like, you just start making up things that she could do to him, and it's like, yeah, maybe we should have. Do you know what I'd really like to see from a film of this sort of genre?
Go on.
I'd like to see someone start to pick on someone like this. Okay, do the usual thing, and then they find out that what they've actually done is they've picked on a serial killer, and suddenly the film flips on its fucking head, right?
Yeah,
and it's then they realise that the person that they were trying to intimidate has led them into a fucking trap. And it's then the tables get turned, and have the other half of the film being, now, you want terror? I'm going to show you terror.
Yeah. The serial killer stalked by a serial killer who's a worse serial killer.
Exactly. You got this fucking yokel that turns up thinking he's, out of Deliverance.
Yeah.
When it's like, no, you're out of Dairy Farm. That's what you're fucking from, mate.
What you are is out your depth.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the daddy right here. Okay. This person.
Wasn't that basically the idea behind Dexter?
Yeah. I mean, Dexter was mainly he was created more like as a weapon by the guy by his dad. His dad realises that he's got these serial killer tendencies, and he thought to himself, well, hold on a minute. Maybe we can use this to do some good.
Yeah.
And he trains him to be the serial killer that takes down serial killers. So it's like sending in a virus to fight a virus.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that way, with that. But what he is all along.
Right. Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, with this, it would be, it'd be really kind of cool, I think, to watch and you'd be conflicted all the way through it, right?
Yeah.
Your feelings would fucking fly around as to whether yes, the yokel's getting his comeuppance, and it's like, no, the
poor sod.
The yokel's, yeah, exactly. Hold on, he was pretty bad, but he weren't that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, that's it. Take that idea, stick it in an envelope, post it to yourself before Hollywood goes and makes it.
So, have you got a serial killer movie for me?
I sure do.
Wow.
There's a movie with a similar-ish premise.
Oh, go on, Jim. Go on. Pissing his chips.
I can't remember what it's called. I'll try and hunt it down, and I'll slip it in when you least expect it.
Hold on. No, I've lost all my clips. Ah, fuck it. Lost me clips. Where's me clips? Oh, man.
Searching for the clips again, yeah?
I am. Mrs. Yes. Oh, God. It's all gone horribly wrong, ladies and gentlemen. There you go.
To quote a line from RoboCop, Dick, I'm very disappointed.
I'm sure it's just a glitch. A glitch. glitch. This podcast goes live in less than 4 hours, and you telling me you have a glitch? Go on.
As they're dragging the dead clips out the room.
Yeah, as they're dragging the old carcass of my Chrome page and shutting it down and throwing it in the bin. Oh,
what
hell.
I liked about this, and I think it's a genre in a genre, but maybe it's the realistic kind of hunting thriller slasher movie. And I'm sure there's movies that did it before, but you know when we did Scream, where they have the realistic tendencies of hitting your knee as you run past it. Table or getting tripped over because you're a silly sausage and not really that great at serial killing.
Stubbing your toe. Oh, fucking hell.
The realism of, it's gone a little bit wrong and I fucked up here, haven't I?
Yeah.
I kind of, getting a claw hammer in the arm. That's going to smart.
That was going to smart. And that did... That was when I knew the film had got me, because when he opens, she slams the window down on his fingers, and he goes, and he's trying to lift it up, and then she's trying to force it down, and I'm thinking, oh God, what's going to happen here? And then she sees the hammer, and I think, well, just go for the hammer, and then she does, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, and then she whacks him with it, and as soon as she whacks him with it, I'm just like, oh, fucking get in there. It suddenly turned into Die Hard. It turned into that kind of, once they start punching the bad guy, you're like, fucking keep going, keep punching.
Was there a mention of Die Hard in this? You know when he got the cigarettes?
I don't know. There might be.
I thought there was a tiny callback to Die Hard about the cigarettes, and he when he goes through the first spoilers for Die Hard, apologies, but where he goes through the first person where he writes now I have a machine gun, that guy.
Ho.
And he gets the cigarettes. And he grabs John's cigarettes, doesn't he? And then he sits there and, so what do you think now, John? And I thought there was something in Die Hard sprung up in my head. I was like, oh, okay, tiny callback.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's when he's killed John. He's killed John, and he pulls the cigarettes out, and he goes, cigarettes, these things will kill you.
That's the fella, yes.
That's it. He goes, yeah, these things will kill you.
Now, it might not be a callback to Die Hard, but Die Hard sprung up in my head.
Well, it's like the Kevin Bacon of movies, isn't it?
It's just, yeah.
Everything leads back to Die Hard at some point, But I was going to say the one thing I found interesting with the film was that you're sitting there kind of going, okay, she's in the house. Why hasn't he come in? Why hasn't he made a move to come in? And I thought, he's just playing with her. It's that going back to the taking the mask off, isn't it? It's that whole thing of, I can come in anytime I like. I can do this anytime I like, but I need you to be scared. And that to me it wasn't scary. It was just, it reminded me a lot of Deliverance. Of the hillbillies out in the sort of, out in the forest sort of stalking these four guys. And then the one guy sort of turning around and saying, right, enough's enough. And, just standing up for the fight, so to speak. I was gonna ask about the the whole thing with her and her book. I mean, did you feel like that whole thing about not writing an ending? I mean, obviously it was signposting her suddenly going, "Oh, I've got 7 endings."
Yeah.
But were you already feeling clued up when she made the run for it and then he brains her with a rock?
No, I honestly,
No.
that I've never seen this film before, and that caught me off guard, that bit.
Because, what about you, Elton?
Yeah, it caught me And I was sat there going, right, okay, well, this is taking a dramatic turn.
Mm.
Where are we going now?
Yeah, because I think it's a testament to the film that you were never sort of sitting there going, "Oh, she's definitely going to escape. She's the hero," and then basically it does that thing, and it could easily be a case of you suddenly feeling cheated because it's like, "Oh, it's not really real, psych," but actually. If you from the start, that book thing about the endings and the fact that she thinks 7 endings up, it suddenly goes, oh, yeah.
Well,
they set it all up.
It was one of those, it was like, laid the groundwork, played for it, won it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, first time, that took me by surprise. I thought, oh, has he pulled a psycho?
Yeah. Killed off, and now another person's going to turn up because it happens with because I'll be honest with you, when she gets brained, I literally tapped my screen because I was watching it on my phone. I tapped my screen and I thought, no, there's still like 35-40 minutes to go here. What the fuck? And then suddenly it's I see.
Yeah.
Well, Jim, you're right. They do lay all the groundwork down because I think when she's thinking about the ending of her book, she has that monologue in her head. Was it her mother's voice? She said it was earlier on.
Yes, yeah.
And she had that voice in there, and there was all these voices just trying to work out an ending for it. And so when it came to the moment of cleverly killing her off and then rewind back into the building.
Rewind. And the crowd say, Bow Selector.
Wicker. Oh, there's Kez. It is my bird, Kez.
Craig David.
Hi.
Well, I met this girl on Monday. I took her for a drink on Tuesday.
And then she never called me back. Anyway.
But they do that rewind back into the house, and then you have her talking to herself, but clearer about, he's going to do that. And if you run, no matter what situation, because she's already been shot by this moment. And I think if he just wanted to kill a person, he had plenty of opportunity just to kill her. And yet he didn't. He sent a crossbolt past her head, and then he shot her in the leg later on as well. So he had plenty of time to do that.
But then also, when she's talking to herself, she does say that thing about the crossbow bolts take a while to load. They're not very good at close range. They're only good at distance. So there's this whole thing of like, well, how far away was he when he shot the arrow? And so was he really deliberately missing her head, or did he just miss? But I think it's interesting because what it does is as Jim, as you said earlier on, the film plays with your expectations of what you think's going to happen, and I really did like that. Was the fact that you sitting there going, okay, so this is going to be a fight back. Oh, she's dead. Oh, right, okay. Oh, you've caught me with a psych. Oh, he's got a mask on. He's a serial killer mask, mysterious man, serial killer. No, they've taken the mask off. He's just a loon, a loon and a loser.
I did like the way he took the neighbour out, though, the John guy.
Yeah, just that sort of stab, oops, psych.
Yeah, and she balls it up for him as well. He was all ready to clobber him around the head with a rock.
Yeah,
and it was like, it's done. It's done. No, just go down. It's fine. You're not going to survive this. I've hit your artery. Enjoy.
By the way, can I just say, and there's no shame in admitting this, but was the only proper jump scare the fucking titles or what?
Probably, yeah.
Because it does that thing where like the first logos come up, like the producer logos, and normally they have music on them, like sort of, I don't know, Fox Searchlight, and it was doing them. I'm looking and I'm watching this on. Initially, I was watching it on my PlayStation, so I have my Bluetooth headphones on, and I'm thinking, my batteries run out. And then all of a sudden, I turned them up, and I thought, no, hang on, there's another one. I know that's got to have music, and it just went hush.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. I'm going to bed. I'm going to go watch this in bed.
No, I've been caught out with that many a time. So I was like, let's just see what happens. I'm not going to sit here and turn it right up.
Yeah. What about you, Dal?
Yeah, I was stood there playing with the volume. I thought, the fuck has happened here? Has my app gone funny? And there's boo.
Yeah. I mean, I think we've established it's not a terribly scary movie, but was there any bits that disturbed you? I mean, not scary for us because of our context and the way we were looking at things, but was there anything? Because, you know, Halloween, which I think this does riff a lot on, does have those disturbing moments, like when you see, you know, when she thinks Michael Myers dead, and then you see in the background in the other room him just sit up and then look straight at her. And it's just like, hey, fucking hell. Was there any moments for you guys that kind of made you go, oh, God, here we go? Anyone?
For me,
No, not for me.
I think the film worked really well because it had them moments and possibilities of showing something in the corner of the room. You know, you have that classic view of over the shoulder, and something's going to walk in or go past. And you had many moments like that, especially when they were showing her that close-up of the ear, like, she can't hear, here's her ear, she can't hear.
Yeah.
And there was a couple of things, especially when he was murdering the neighbor against the door.
Yeah.
And it was there, and then it would disappear, and you was waiting for his face just to pop up in the window. Never really did that until she's in the bathroom, and then you see all the glass fall down, and you're like, oh, he's in. And then you see the foot come down. You're like, oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good. But it didn't make me jump.
No.
But I really appreciated it for waiting for the moment to actually do it.
I mean, that moment, the way that was filmed, with the glass coming down and then the legs coming down and then sort of like stopping. I know it's going to make me sound like a nerdy fanboy, but that reminded me of the alien coming down behind Harry Dean Stanton in Alien, where you sort of like, you just suddenly see something slowly lower itself down and then sort of stretch itself back up, and you're like, oh, fuck. And it did exactly the same thing, almost entirely the same shot and the focal depth and everything. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, no. It's like, well, so what about you, Dale? You said nothing really scared you. Was it all just because of the mask coming off, or what?
It was that. It's just like, you know, I was sitting there plotting like stuff that she could do, you know, like, well, you could take this. What I would be doing is I'd be writing not the fucking boyfriend thing, you know, that on there. I'd be writing insults. I'd be telling him how small his manhood was and stuff like this, and just really poking the bear so that he gets so angry that he fucks up. And it's like, gotcha, you cunt.
Yeah, nice.
You know, just really, because you know what people are like when they get really, really, really annoyed? They don't really concentrate that well. It's just an aggressive act, and that's when people fuck up.
Yeah.
Right? That's it. That's when they don't see the banana peel on the floor and fucking go arse over tip backwards and hopefully land on a big fucking spike. But yeah, that was me. It was just aggression.
Yeah.
And frustration as well. That was what it felt like. It was just that feeling of, you know, you want to help her out, and it's like, you know, or say, look, this thing over here, look, you see this thing? Look, you could use this.
Yeah. What about, I must admit, I kept, every time he put his face really close to the window, I was thinking, why don't you just hit it with a hammer?
Yep.
You've got the hammer in your hand. Just give him a face full of fucking glass. That'll do.
Indeed.
That'll sort it.
A mouth full of fucking hammer.
Yes. Mouthful of hammer, because that glass ain't stopping a 12-pound mallet coming through it, is it?
No, it's not. No.
What about you, Jim?
Well, that's what I did. Both me and Teresa made the comment that the good characters in this were a bit too nice, or rather nicer than us. Because Teresa said when he climbs up on the roof and she had that crossbow bow, he got that in the fucking face.
Yeah.
And likewise, when the boyfriend gets it, even though he's dying, if it'd been me and I had him in a bear hug like that, my other hand would have took out his eyes. All right, I might be dying, but you're fucking going to see jack shit. I will fuck you up good and proper.
That's right, yeah.
She's deaf, you're blind. There we go. Thank you very much.
But, he made the typical...
Yeah.
It's one of those, people make this, particularly big guys, I'll hit you with my fists. No. Hit them with something hard, like a wall.
Yeah.
And don't play Marquis of Queensberry rules here.
Yes.
Fucking throat, bollocks, eyes. In fact, take out the eyes, because people have a hard job hitting you if they can't fucking see you.
Well, exactly.
Sand in the fucking face. There we go.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
I was looking at it, and I just had the quote from was it The Last Action Hero? Are you a farmer? Because here's a couple of acres. Doink, straight in the cock. Straight in the cock.
Oh, all sorts of things. Just, man, if nothing else, he's delivered some classic lines in his time.
Yeah.
Are you a farmer? Because here's a couple of acres.
Wallop.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, from the Last Action Hero. It's kicks him right in the balls. But anyway, has anyone got anything additional to add to this? Because I'll be honest with you, once it becomes the sort of slasher movie, not slasher movie. Once it becomes the cat and mouse thing, it kind of falls into. Even though it's done really nicely and sort of nice, moves along at a nice clip. At that point, you are eventually. You can only stay off the rails for so long, and it does have to get down to the final showdown.
Does her not being able to reload the crossbow, does that stop it from going into the Ripley era?
Well, I think that's one of the kind of the reality breaks, as I think of it. Is that, actually crossbows are fucking terrible to load if you ever tried to do one. They are an absolute sod.
Yeah.
It's interesting he has a choice of crossbow as a weapon for that reason. He's not just about the kill, he is about the torment. Yeah. And that's him making it difficult for himself.
That's what
it's like some hunter bullshit. But I think once you get into that thing, this could, in other people's hands, this would end up like fucking Home Alone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With her using her magic powers of deafness and super other compensated senses that deaf people don't really have. To, fuck him up with all these sort of Heath Robinson gadgets, you know what I mean? But I like the fact, even when it gets down to that, you're not sure, will he kill her? Will we have a downbeat 70s style ending? You know what I mean? There's all that kind of, the stakes are very real, if you know what I mean. It's kind of when he stamps on her hand, you think, oh my God, this is going pesh. This is going south, isn't it?
The fingers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Definitely. That was the moment where I suddenly thought, oh God, we are going to get a downbeat ending. And it was quite frustrating as well, because you sort of think, it's that moment where you sort of think, oh no, now she's going to get away and she's going to do this, that, and the other and beat him. But then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, actually she hasn't. She shut her hand at the door. Oh dear. And now he's going to jump up and down. And oh, right, okay, fine. You're not getting out of that one.
Well, also, that moment when she has a injured hand and she stands up and looks at him, it's as if she's decided, no, you're not going to scare me anymore. She's kind of changed her role there, which is quite cool.
Yeah, go on.
I think she's realised the truth about the game of cat and mouse, which was explained very eloquently by the cat in Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Played this game before. It's called Cat and Mouse. There's only one way to win. Don't be the mouse.
Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like it feels almost like once you've hurt her that bad, once you've been hurt that bad, it's like, well, what else are you gonna fucking do? That's all you've got.
Yeah.
And now all you got is you're dining on the fear, if you know what I mean. And it's like, well, no, I haven't got to be any more scared of you. My hand feels like someone's just sort of rolled a car over it, and my leg's got a fucking hole in it. I'm bleeding out. What else are you gonna do? Oh, you're gonna kill me. Well, that's gonna happen either way. So I suppose you just face up to it and just go, you know what, bollocks to it. You've got nothing swinging. Yeah, you got nothing on me now, and that's the kind of attitude I think came through with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. The only other thing I was disappointed with, and I don't know if you guys were thinking on this line, was with the light siren fire alarm thing. Did you think it was going to be a role reversal, that she actually deafens him with it, and then he can't hear her, and then suddenly because the playing field's leveled off?
I thought not make him deaf, but it's that whole thing of I'm blind, he can see, turn off all the lights, level playing field.
Yeah,
I'm used to being in the dark. I thought she would have done something like that, just turned it on and just left it, and that way he can't scan for her. You know, you can't hear her moving around.
Right. Yeah.
I was surprised she didn't turn the lights off in the very beginning, when he first turned up and was prowling around the house. Because, when you're in a light room, it makes it very difficult to look out, but it's easy for them to see in. So turn the lights off, and that kind of levels it for you. Plus, the layout of your house. He doesn't.
It's true.
I'm not saying it's Home Alone or anything like that, but I've heard that is advice you should follow as well. Turn the lights out. You have the advantage. You know the layout. You know what's around you. The person coming into your house doesn't.
And have
fun.
What sort of website are you looking at? What are you, Home Preppers, HomeInvasionPreppers.com or something? What the fucking hell's that?
No, I don't know what you mean, sir.
It's not going to save you from your haunted TVs in the loft. You know that. I mean, they're already in, mate.
Oh no, the house belongs to them. We are just renting this house from them,
from the evil TV overlords in the loft. Yes, saying nothing. Just
anyway, moving on. Anyone else?
Yeah. Anyone else got anything else they'd like to bring up about it? Because I'll be honest, I'm kind of a bit. I've done.
I'm done now.
Okay.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. Well, like I say, I think it's a good film. I think it's well worth a look. I don't necessarily think it's a decent horror film. I mean, as much I think for tradition's sake, I'll ask the question, Elton, how many potatoes were there on the roast potato scale for this one?
0 for this one.
Zero potatoes on the potato Right, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. So we've started off weak on this.
No.
Wow.
God, man.
Jesus, we're going out as we came in.
I think so.
God. Spud you hate. Anyway. Right. Well, in which case, we shall wrap it up there. Jim, have you got any last thoughts or...
Not really. I think we've covered everything. It's only a short movie after all.
Well, I was going to say, there isn't an awful lot to it once you get into the actual action. I mean, apart from the fact that it's well shot, well directed, done on the cheap, tense, tight, well edited. I mean, it's everything you want in a tight little 80-minute thriller, I think. So, cool. Okay, then. Well, we'll leave it there. So, now, before we get on to Pimp's Corner and then saying goodbye to everyone, it's time to find out what Elton has picked for his choice for next week, for week 2 of the 12 weeks of horror, indeterminate length of horror thing. Elton.
Yes, would you like me to say?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I've been umming and ahhing about a number of films, as you already know, and I have decided I'm just trying to find out where the bloody hell it is. Oh no, it was on Disney. It's on Disney Plus. I think it's actually everywhere, but it's on Disney Plus. And this film it has Daniel Radcliffe in it. It's the second Daniel Radcliffe film that we've done.
Yes. We haven't done any of the Harry Potters, have we?
No, we haven't done any of the Harry Potters.
We did Guns Akimbo, though.
Guns Akimbo.
That's right. Yeah, cool.
And we are going to be doing The Woman in Black. Not doing The Woman in Black, but we are
hold on.
Covering.
You're going to be... Hold on.
Thank you. We are going to be covering The Woman in Black.
Oh, God. Hold on. I've only just shrunk down the window. I haven't even got the Pornhub.
We shall be reviewing The Woman in Black.
In what we're covering is, well, it's open for debate. Probably if we all talked about it, it would be a match. No, I'm not going to.
There you go. We're going to keep going. I can press this thing all day. Hold on. There you go. Anyway.
Images now of Captain America with his own Sid James button. I could do this all day.
Yeah.
Please, Steve, stop it.
For the love of God. Yeah, so, yes, we will be doing... oh, God, I've said it. We will be...
Think of another verb. Is it verbal now? I always forget.
We will be watching the movie Woman in Black. There you go. I think we got around it. We've succeeded. We've done it, everyone. We can all go home.
Apparently it's on Netflix as well.
It's on Netflix and it's on Disney Plus.
Okay, cool.
Under the stars option. I got to keep saying it like that because I will always say it like that. So yes, do watch that and do join us next week when we will be reviewing it. So that's that. Before we go, let's head on over to Pimp's Corner and find out what everyone's doing in their various podcast guises. So, Jim, what's happening over in Hypnagoria Land?
Well, just released today is a somewhat delayed step of Commentary Club, where me and Teresa go back and revisit Tron from 1982.
Nice.
Which was a very interesting rewatch this time round, I must say. And on my main show, Hypnagoria, it's the Halloween season, and kicked off with a vintage radio play from the 1980s, or a story that's actually set at Halloween. And this week, there's going to be a very, very long episode coming out about the history of haunted attractions.
All right, okay, cool. And that's all over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
Lovely, jubbly. And what about over in Rogue 2 Media Land?
Right. Well, I have just dropped an episode.
Mrs. I'm not Sid Jamesing it anymore. That's it. I'm done.
No need for that. Involving you, actually, Mr. Metcalf.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it was us discussing for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
Queuing. I don't know how we got 2.5 hours out of that, but we did.
It was a this is only going to take 20 minutes and then did turn into 2.5 hours covering everything from celebrity to Carl queuing to the Queen to lead line coffins.
Yeah.
And queues for queues.
Queues for queues, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Queues for queues. Yeah.
But it's a fun little romp. And,
it was certainly more time to queues devoted to queues than I ever thought we could do.
Yeah,
I'll be honest with you.
Honestly, thought we'd have 20 minutes and then maybe do another episode after that. But yeah,
2.5 hours later.
That's what happens. So now I have completed the trifecta of Darren with streaming services, Jim with torture, and Lee with queuing.
Yeah, all playing to our strengths.
Yep.
Apparently my strength is queuing. So that's good. So do check that out. That's over at rogue2media.com or on iTunes along with Hypnagoria. Cool. Darren, are you in anything?
Apart from debt.
That'll teach you for turning your lights on, mate.
Exactly, yeah.
That'll
for
do
2 minutes there.
Yeah, 2 whole minutes. That was a mistake.
There was.
Sit in the dark. Sit in the dark. Like everyone else.
No, I'm not in anything else at all.
Okay. Cool. Well, like I say, I'm only in the Rogue 2 Shonky Lab episode for queuing. And, other than that, I'm just doing the Inktober stuff, which you can find being posted up on my Facebook wall and on Twitter, really. So, if you do see it, put a little like under it, even if you don't like it, because my ego's fragile. There you go. Be honest. Oh, excuse me. So, anyway, that's it now. Time to leave. Time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And we shall see you all next week for The Woman in Black. Until then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
There's a voice that keeps on calling me down the road. It's where I'll always be. Every stop I make a new friend. Can't stay for long, just turn around and I'm gone again. Maybe tomorrow I'll want to settle down. Until tomorrow, I'll just keep moving on.
Get out of the booth, Jack.
No, I like it in here.